Spotting at small and medium-sized hub airports is always a blast. Today, we're going to be checking out the New Orleans Louis Armstrong International Airport and what they have to offer in the realm of plane spotting. I hope all of you are excited for this today, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. And welcome everybody to New Orleans International Airport. So we have a bunch of really cool aircraft to take a look at here today, and I hope all of you are excited for it. As you all know, New Orleans, medium-sized hub airport, really progressing in regards to their new airport facility and all kinds of cool plane spotting. So with that being said, we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and get started. And what a way to start right here with this Air Canada Rouge Airbus A321. You'll notice that New Orleans gets quite a wide variety of cool aircraft, and I also should note this is September of 2023 when we're spotting, so quite a ways back during the Breeze inaugural day trip, but very excited to get back in the groove here after getting this new computer, which, speaking of which, so far no lag at all, which I'm super happy about that, so that will really help the viewing experience. I hope all of you are excited about that. But yeah, Rouge flying 321s here is really cool, and they have a pretty good spoke. And we'll be doing a New Orleans airport video, so stay tuned for that. But that will really cover how nice of a facility this is. Overall, it is super nice in quite a few ways. Here's a really nice view out the apron right here. This is the Breeze A220 on that re-inaugural service, I should say. But you have the A gates, the B gates, and C gates. Southwest using quite a few of the B gates, and A, mainly international. As you can see, the heavy hybrid gate. British Airways does fly 787s here, which is pretty cool, and 777s. And obviously Breeze using the gates down here. So very cool views of this facility. And then, like I said, Southwest using many of the gates at B, and then C's, United, Delta, I think Spirit Parks over there, a couple of the other carriers. In the foreground of this photo, you can see the old facility. It was outdated, it was bad, it was rough, it was all that. So yeah, just crazy that they left it alone, just left it all standing with the jet bridges and so forth, but that's what happened. You can also see a couple of Breeze Airways Embraer aircraft over there just hanging out, their charters and so forth. But yeah, we're going to be utilizing the main parking garage today here at New Orleans, which is great for their north-south runway, which they use pretty often and on this day included. And yeah, great views of the C gates over here. You can see this Delta 737-90ER and Airbus A320. So yeah, you're definitely going to get nice stellar views of the aircraft from over here. So there's the Breeze aircraft a little bit closer up. Again, just some charters, so that's why they're over here. A nice overlook here. We'll have that anvil that will finish with our light here later on, but fortunately we got some really good pictures in the meantime. I also thought it was pretty interesting that Delta is utilizing quite a nice corner here, the ramp for their ground service equipment, which is pretty impressive. At least it's nice and orderly. It looks like a model airport setup. But yeah, that 739 is going to Atlanta, 320 to Minneapolis. And our first aircraft is going to be this Air Canada Rouge in Southwest. So we're going to see quite a few cool ones. But the first aircraft on the actual runway itself will be Spirit. Here's their Airbus A320neo. They fly a bunch of routes out of New Orleans, some really unique ones as well. Dallas, Los Angeles, and even of the likes of Columbus, Charlotte, quite a cool variety. So anyway, landing in here, very good looking aircraft, and overall super sharp to see as it rolls out here. We have runway 2 and 20 that we're looking at here, and yeah, really nice backdrop. It's very close up with the action, so you can get some really good images even on an iPhone for say. So yeah, usually these aircraft do use the whole runway as well. I have one really impressive Delta 739 shot that you'll see here in a little bit, but I can tell we use the whole runway. And yeah, the turning off shots are really cool too. So yeah, there it is. And here's the aforementioned Air Canada Rouge A321, which is blasting off for Toronto Pearson International, which is a really cool route that they have here at New Orleans. So certainly great to see that. And if you get lucky, sometimes you get shots with the skyline. But as you can tell here, they use a substantial amount of the runway. There is the near 1,000 footers, and that's the 1,500 mark. So the 1,000 footers right there. And as you can tell, they use quite a bit of length. But yeah, you can get some really cool shots. You have a really nice double tree back there too. So some good scenery over here at the New Orleans airport. And again, here's that Spirit, which is currently taxiing through. Really cool shots on the ramp, and definitely very glad to have these with some really good light conditions there. So there goes Spirit taxiing out. Love the raccoon mask. Southwest, of course, has a very large presence at New Orleans, flying to quite a few cities. Here's the 737-700 right here. Very nice, and definitely a long roller. New Orleans is a strong market for Southwest by default, and United mainline as well to Houston. We'll be seeing that coming up soon. Another MAX 8 and an 800, so we'll have double trouble. They also do use the runway 2911 platform as well, so you'll see several aircraft take off on there, but you also see several of the especially northbound departures, which is quite a few of them, like 8542 Zulu, an aircraft I've flown before twice, taking off right here on the north-south runway. So much tougher to spot that other runway only in the winters, really, when the light's good, but I really like this runway for the rotation views that you can get. And as you can tell, they can come out really sharp. This is a really cool image with a really nice vertical rate, which is pretty common on this runway. And then here comes the MAX 8 that we mentioned previously. So yeah, Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, Orlando, Baltimore, just all the hubs, and then a few of the smaller cities. I think you'll see an occasional Columbus and routes like that here as well. So pretty cool overall. So yeah, very good vantage points here at the airport. There's that Spirit A320 again, and as the Southwest leave, they come in. So here's the Boeing 737 MAX 8 touching down here as well. Overall, strong looking aircraft, and certainly happy to get to see it. And there is the MAX 8 taxiing in there. I like these taxiing shots quite a bit. They're really nice. So there it is. Overall, really strong. And there's that United mainline we were hinting at, and a Delta 737-800. This could have been the Salt Lake City flight. I'm not completely sure, but they do have SLC. But United mainline Houston's very common. And here's the 737-700, which went ahead of our A320, which you'll see that trip report, along with several others from the month of September 2023, very soon in the lineup. But yeah, long rollers for sure. These turned out really good if here, this 737. And all the way up and goes 14704. So yeah, very common shuttle service. They operate some 739s, but a good bit of 738s, 700s, A319s, A320s, those kind of mainline planes. So yeah, there's the Breeze A220. I think that was ours right there, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see that here more in a moment. You'll see a few clouds throughout, but here's the American 737 coming in from Dallas. American just has their standard hubs. Sorry about that, everybody. I have absolutely no idea what happened there. That was the first time I've ever seen my computer just wipe it out completely. But anyway, here's the American 737 touching down. All the hubs, like I was mentioning before, it just kaplunked right there. So yeah, nice shots here to 737, but plenty of service to Dallas, Chicago, and all the places. We have that Breeze Airways A220 taking off. This went on to Orlando at that time, which was a very cool continuation route and a very popular one. So here it is rolling down runway 20. Pretty cool light and overall looking very sharp. Cool beacon shots as well. And there it is on the rotation as it makes its way onto Orlando, getting a few more passengers, but most of them are from Tulsa. So overall looking pretty sharp. There's the Delta 737-900ER that we'll see here momentarily in a primary Boeing 737-800 freighter. They do get a few cargo flights here and there, but not too many. Also want to give you a huge shout out to my friend Rylan, who lives in New Orleans. I know he'll appreciate this spotting session greatly. That was just a nice little liftoff right there. Those do happen from time to time, and then you get the nice vertical rate. So very sharp to see that downtown with the lighting. And then American Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8, probably back to Dallas. And they do have some mainline to Miami as well, I believe. So that could be another one right there. So looking very sharp in the way of that aircraft. You got the Delta waiting down there, and Ward the Beaver on Frontier Service E320neo, one of my favorite tails. So it was great to see this, and we're going to see it the next day during the Phoenix plane spotting. So stay tuned for those videos as well. But here it is. Yeah, very good looking aircraft, very good images. Glad the sun broke out for some of these, as they're certainly very impressive in reference to the design. You know, it could be a general reference, but I would say in reference to the design. So yeah, looking very nice there. Ward the Beaver heading out right there. One more good look, because that was a really good capture right there. So there goes Ward the Beaver. Very happy to get the good light, and overall looking very sharp with that aircraft right there. But I don't think our good lighting's quite done yet. As you see, it comes back here, and we have that Delta Airlines Boeing 737-900ER. I did not realize I was panning. That was by mistake, but then I got that fixed. I think the light comes back. Maybe not. Okay, so the main takeaway, though, is that we're lifting the wheels up at the 1,000 footers, which is crazy. Yeah, it's this shot right here that I was just like, wow, that's insane. So as you can tell, nearly an overrun. Not quite, obviously, but yeah, it was a very, 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 very long rotation. So I'm sure the pilots were... Man, that was a tough one for sure. But the light did come back for that Delta 737-900ER, a very long roll, very brimmed, heading back to Atlanta, of course. So absolutely crazy to see that. There it is, rotating off. What a nice looking aircraft, and really good light. And they do land on runway 11 as well, like this JetBlue A320 example. New York and Boston service pretty normal. Here goes the Spirit that we saw earlier in the Delta. So we're getting the first round of aircraft. So yeah, keep hanging in there with some light. Here's the Spirit. I think this is a Los Angeles flight, which is really nice. So very sharp rotation right there as it will blast into the sky. So very good looking aircraft. Got some light at the end, so we love that right there. Very good looking aircraft. And we got the Delta 737-800 again. I think that was service over to Salt Lake City. This is a tough site to look at now. So sad. Silver did have a good handful of flights into New Orleans for quite some time. Tampa and, you know, a few other neat routes. This is 405 Sierra Victor landing in the ATR 42. Long live Silver. So sad. Definitely check out my video on it, and it definitely tells the word on it, that's for sure. There goes the Southwest 737 MAX 8 blasting off. And yeah, that was our spotting session right there, everybody. Here's a United Airlines Airbus A320, which took us to Houston. So definitely check out the joint trip report where we discuss the all the flights together. That was a really fun video to put together, so I hope all of you enjoy it very much. We also have the United Max 8 over to San Francisco. This is a really cool service that they have, and I think it's double daily now, which is even more impressive. America does fly CRJs and a couple Southwest there as well. You all probably remember that. Well, I make my connection video my first time at New Orleans. That was crazy, and then a little bit more laid back here. But anyway, our A320 over to Houston to make our Tulsa flight. Love it right here. We're getting the bags loaded up. Got this ticket for $90 total, so very happy about that with the Tulsa ticket with it. So overall strong. Got all the Breeze aircraft that we mentioned previously. Got Silver parking there at the end of the sea gates. And there we are arriving in the Houston, where we then find this Boeing 737-900 that took us on to Tulsa. So overall great time. Definitely check out all those videos. Really fun to put these trip reports together. And our next plane spotting session will be at the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. So certainly check it out when you all get a chance. It was really fun and great spotting over there at Sky Harbor, and plenty of other fun videos through the process to come as well. But with that being said, I hope all of you enjoyed this greatly. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name's CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.